Welcome to Red and Black for this week. Well, it was a depressing week, really, wasn't it, last week? I hate saying that. It really started with the Lou Vincent saga, didn't it? Just to lift the lid and the scope of match fixing and sports betting at cricket. It is beyond belief, the amount of monies that they're talking about. And Lou Vincent, well, he's come clean. He said that he was a victim of it. He is a boy with mental problems, which he confesses to. He's now not allowed to talk to anybody. He doesn't have a teammate that he can chat to. And I think that makes him very vulnerable to doing something very silly with his life. So there is more to life than that. But the ramifications of it, when Mr X gets named, every one of us seems to have an opinion who that international cricketer is, but we're best leaving that alone. Saturday night's performance against 13, playing 15 by the Crusaders was, to say the least, very, very subpar. They were subpar from the start of the game to the end of the game. The incident, of course, with the stomping on the head is just unforgivable. I hope his Super 14, 15 rugby's gone. He deserves that. But then to get down to 13 and still not be able to have a game plan that could beat the Sharks leaves a lot to be desired. And I suppose everybody's now talking about Todd Blackadder again. And I remember a good mate of mine, Grizz Wiley, a very successful All Black coach, made the comment, really he believed anybody could coach. The key to a top coach was the selection. And I think some of the selections that Todd's made in the past few weeks and has been reflected in the performances that have transpired. So perhaps Toddy needs to just look at the selection side of it, more so than concentrating just on the coaching side. My team, Christchurch, went down in Hawkins Cup. That didn't help either, went down to Sydenham. And the only bright spot was the Press Cup game we did. My school, St Andrews College, had a very, very 6-2 win over Roncalli, so that brightened it a bit. Then, of course, over the weekend, the Rams. Now, you know how excited I am about the Rams. I think it's wonderful to have basketball back in this town. We need it, and it's there. But they lost a double header. Well, my guest has just flown back from having done the double header as a spectator. Ben Apley is my guest. We've called him a basketball fanatic. Some would use the word tragic, probably. But Ben, basketball's a huge part of your life, and welcome.
Thank you very much for having me, and definitely. I'm watching basketball all day, every day. Even when I'm at work, sometimes I can get away with it. I'm watching it, following the NBA and the New Zealand basketball.
Tell us that story, because the basketball has actually taken you to the States, to the NBA, and you're lucky enough to be a part of it. Yeah,
in February I headed over there with a couple of friends, and I got the chance to go to 8 different NBA games, and I got a bit of access to the change rooms as well. Got to meet LeBron.
You got a media pass, didn't you?
Yeah, I got a media pass, so I do a little bit of work for nzhoops.co.nz. So I got a
How difficult is it to get a media pass to those games?
I just had to apply for it and tell them what I was doing, and it came through sort of 24 hours before every
Had
game.
they heard of New Zealand?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Oh, that's a help.
Stephen Adams helps a little bit.
We're going to talk about him later. Just tell me, take me to an NBA game live when you're there. Just paint the picture.
It's hard to describe it as a basketball game. It's probably more of a show. I went to a game at Madison Square Garden, and with the lighting there and stuff like that, it's more like an entertainment.
Just the history of the venue alone. It doesn't have to be basketball, does it?
That's right.
Every big event's been held there.
And I mean, you're watching these guys who are superb athletes, 6'8", 6'9", but they can run faster than some Olympic sprinters and things like that. So it's phenomenal to go watch.
And their work rate?
Yeah, well, I mean, these guys play 82 regular games in a season that spans about 8 months. So some days they might play 4 games in a week. So they're working pretty hard, and they really are superb athletes.
You talk about it being a show. Gridiron's the same, isn't it? These games are staged really for the fan, more so than the game at sometimes, aren't they? Yeah. Well, Did you get into the hot dogs?
Yeah. It'd be rude not to, I think.
It would be,
but it's an entertainment spectacle. All those sort of American sports they're a business.
Yeah. Is there a hell of a lot between the teams or not?
Not really in the NBA. There's a salary cap in the NBA, which sort of tries to restrict it a little bit. There's always some teams that are willing to spend a little bit more than others, but I mean, in the West this year, the Western Conference in the NBA, going into the last week, there was 11 teams that could make the playoffs.
That's amazing, isn't it, the competition?
Yeah.
Have you got a team?
I'm a Heat fan. I'm a LeBron James fan, so that's my team.
Did you get to see them?
I did.
And
I got to meet LeBron, so that was pretty surreal for me. He's sort of my favourite athlete, so that was pretty cool. Right.
If you died, you wouldn't care whether you went to heaven, would you? You'd seen it. You'd done it. Yeah. What sort of crowds do they get?
Every game we went to was full, and it's sort of between 15 and 20,000.
Right, so they're not huge stadiums, are they?
Not huge. So I think the biggest one seats about 21,000, but they're selling out 40 times a year.
Amazing,
and
yeah.
some tickets.
And does it feel intimate enough, in
Yep.
that crowd? Yeah.
So for the heat game, we went to a heat game versus the Clippers, and that was one of the biggest games of the season, and we were 8 rows back. And it was
Damn, you're on the bench, mate.
Yeah.
What a thrill, eh? Outstanding. The wee boy from Christchurch,
That's
New Zealand comes there. You play the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. At what sort of level?
I've just played at high school. We went to the national tournament. I went to Middleton Grange High School. And we had a pretty good team. We went to national tournament a couple of years. But yeah.
Was Mariha strong then?
Not so much back then. I think they're starting to come back a little bit now.
Right, because they were very strong in the 70s,
Yep,
I remember
yep.
that. They were Carl Dickel and Kerry Williams and those guys. Yeah.
But I know a lot of hard work's going in there.
And they were very strong actually at boys and girls, which was interesting. Okay. They really concentrated on both at Mariha High, and that was great. Because it wasn't really a famous sporting school, but it gave the school a real presence. They got behind it. Middleton Grange a bit the same?
Yeah, well, Middleton Grange, if you told people around the country you're from Middleton Grange, I'd imagine they probably associate it with Bustle. We don't have a first 15 rugby team as such in Middleton.
Right.
So back in the early 2000s, Middleton managed to get sort of top 8 in nationals, which was a pretty big deal back then.
And they earned the respect of the fellow students. Basketball was seen as a real boost for it, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And
I know, I can't even pick your age, but I don't know, were you in the golden era of the Rams, 82, 85?
No, I'm only 23 years old.
Yeah,
so,
well, you missed a treat because it was fabulous. Yeah. We had our own brand, fast ball, Clyde Huntley scampering up and down the park, the track. But it really captured it. So to get the Rams back is a tremendous boost, isn't it, for the sport in this town?
I think it's something that Christchurch has been missing ever since the earthquake. A chance to go down to Cal Stadium on a Saturday night and watch Bustle. Because with Bustle now it's such a global game and people are really starting to love the game.
Now it's only a small venue, so tickets are a premium, aren't they?
That's right.
Because I bitched and moaned in here last time we had the Rams in, I couldn't get a ticket to go and I was really, really cross. So,
so it only seats 1,300 and they've sold out every game so far, so we might have to see who I can talk to, might be able to get you a ticket.
Having said that, back in the 80s, of course, they even cheated there because they'd fill the aisles. They just had that many people, they had to pack them in, but it was great. So the return of the Rams, what was really expected of them for this season, first year in?
I just think the main thing they wanted to do was compete, and that's fine, but the squad that they've got, a pretty talented squad. I mean, the top 6 or 7 players, I think probably the top 6 or 7 in the competition.
Now, you got a family connection there too, haven't you?
Yeah, so my cousin Jeremy, he's the captain, and my best friend Richie, he's in the team as well.
Now, Richie was in here with the Rams, and of course he went to Middleton Grange as well, just for a short time, I think.
Yeah, he was there for 5 years.
Yeah. So you've got a close connection to it, yeah. But you're a nut for it, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, on Saturday I flew to Auckland and drove 4 hours to New Plymouth to watch, and then after the game I drove back up to Auckland, so I spent 8 hours in the car to go watch them.
For 2 losses. We'll just take a break. We won't dwell on that. When we come back, we'll be talking, where to from here, for basketball in this country. Welcome back to Sport. We're discussing this week is basketball. Well, this man's had the chance to live the dream of go to NBA, which is great. But he's a grassrooter. He's very much concerned with the Rams. He has an involvement there. I'd probably say it's a formative year for them. Feel their feet, get back involved. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, I think so. The main thing I just think they wanted to do, they wanted to bring basketball back to the city. They wanted to get established. So
you were a bit disappointed with the doubleheader, though. Did they let too many in?
Yeah, on Saturday night they let in 99 points, and on Sunday they were 112. So
which is high, isn't it?
That is high. So the New Zealand Basketball League, it's a 40-minute game, 4 10-minute quarters, and probably should be, I'd imagine they want to allow between 70 and 80. So to give up 112 yesterday and 39 in a quarter, that's just too many.
But we get a chance to see them, don't we? When are they back?
That's right, they're back this Sunday.
And at what time?
3 o'clock on Sunday afternoon at Cowes, and they're playing Auckland, who they played yesterday, so a little bit of a chance for revenge straight away.
Could they rumble them?
I think so.
Yep. At home?
At home.
Is home advantage anywhere for the ball game? Is that a big advantage?
Well, this year not so far, they haven't won at home.
No.
So the Cowes Cauldron,
but at NBA level, do they say
NBA,
home is really important?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. The fan base, it's hard to grow it because of the limitation on the stadium, isn't it?
That's right. So, like I said, they haven't won a home game yet, but they're still getting 1,300 there. So if they start winning, they might have to put some people back in the aisles.
So I don't know whether you can get to Cowes. I'm not turning you off at all, but I don't know whether you can get into Cowes on Sunday afternoon at 3 o'clock. But if you want to make the effort, it's certainly worth doing. It's a fabulous sport. Take the kids as well, because it's a great family sport, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely is. Like you said, it's a fast-paced game, so the kids tend to love it as well.
The thing that probably accelerates the interest too from kids is you've got to have a star, and New Zealand have produced a star from a pretty good stable. We all know Val Adams, but Steven Adams has really taken the game by the throat in America, hasn't he? The press reports, the feedback, they rate this boy.
Yeah, they do. I watched him play probably about 3 years ago at underage tournament, and you could tell he was taking it easy because he knew he was so much better than everyone else. And going into the season, to be fair, the expectations that I think most people had were that he'd play a little bit, but maybe not as much as he is. And when he's got on the court, he's made a huge difference.
What makes him? Why is he good?
I just think he just goes out there and does his job. He knows he's not going to score
Not
40
flashy.
points a game.
Yep.
I mean, his main job for OKC is he sets screens, which helps Kevin Durant, their best scorer, get open, and he rebounds.
Yeah. Now, you've met him, haven't you?
I did. I got the chance to meet him in America, in Orlando, and he's a nice guy.
Is he a feet on the ground boy? He seems that to me.
Yeah. I mean, you look at some of these other guys in the NBA change rooms, they've got all the Gucci bags, the Gucci this, and he just had a normal belt and jeans and a sweatshirt. And
has he got a bit of a streak in him? I'm thinking of Val. I mean, I've had the privilege of interviewing Val, and very level-headed, but utterly determined. Is that streak in Steven as well?
Yeah. I mean, he 3 times this year he's been elbowed or punched in the face, and he hasn't even moved. So he's sort of a bit of an annoyant. People in
Does
the
he give a
NBA
bit back?
No.
No.
No, he just takes the hit and just walks off. So
he's there to do a job.
Yeah.
We've got the Tall Blacks coming to town in September, and we're going to be talking about that in the early part of June. The chances of Steven Adams?
Well, yesterday it just came out in the Sunday papers that he's not thinking too much about that at the moment.
But is that press talk or him talk?
That's him talking.
Right.
I'd heard earlier in the year that he was going to play.
Yep.
I know it's probably going to cost New Zealand basketball about $100,000 for him to play.
Now, why is that?
We've got to cover his insurance, so he's guaranteed sort of $2 million next year from Oklahoma. So if he comes and plays for the Tall Blacks and ends up breaking his leg, and then can't play next year, then they're missing out. So,
right.
But I don't understand too much why he can't play, because their 2 best players are playing for USA.
Yeah.
But
they've obviously got to meet the insurance commitments, I suppose, aren't they?
Yeah, they do too. But I know there's someone that's...
How much of a loss to the Tall Blacks will he be?
It's hard to say, because he hasn't played for the Tall Blacks yet. So I don't know how he'd sort of fit in. He'd fit in, he'd be perfect, but sort of up to speed with what they run, that sort of stuff.
Can I take you back 12 months? I actually went to the warm-up game that the Breakers had, and I thought that was absolutely superb. It was great. The Tall Blacks, to have them wanting to come to town, that's pretty special for us, isn't it?
Yeah, I think just people around New Zealand, they feel like they want to help Christchurch. So after the earthquake, they see the stuff that happens, and they want to come down here. And I know the Breakers have just signed on to come down here again in September. So I think it's great for the city. Yeah.
Can I just say that, as I say, promotionally, the promotion company they've got, and I've got no vested interest in them at all, but it'd be one of the slickest promotions I saw was the Breakers when they came down, mate. Yeah. The Tall Blacks, what's their pathway? I mean, is Rio on or not on?
Probably not on at this stage. I think it sort of depends a little bit how they go at the World Champs.
Right. When are they?
They're in September this year. So I know the Tall Blacks go on a 2-month tour. So they go to Korea, China, all through Europe, and the World Champs are in Spain. In Spain? Yep.
Right, okay. Have they done the pool draw?
Yes, they have. We've got Team USA in our pool.
Well, there's a given.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think Team USA is sort of what you'd love to play against if you got the chance, so that could be a great chance.
Everyone wants to play against the All Blacks, don't they?
They do.
So you want to play the best in the world,
and
play the
best.
States. Yeah. From an audience point of view, great promotion for New Zealand, I would have thought, wouldn't it? To be up against Team USA.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know the Tall Blacks will go out there and give them their best chance and do the haka before the game, sort of stuff like that.
Have we had a few defections, do you think, from the Tall Blacks? A few retirements?
Yeah, I'm not sure if Kirk Penny's going to play or not. I think they're hoping he's going to play.
Right.
But we're sort of a little bit thin in,
Who's coaching
in the point guard. Nenad Vucinic.
He is, yeah.
So he was Tab Baldwin's assistant.
Yes.
And he's sort of taken over and he coaches in Lebanon.
Has Pero Cameron got an involvement?
Yep, Pero's an assistant coach with Paul Hanari.
Oh, right.
He's an ex-Tall Black as well.
Yes,
so it's,
yes. Good names in that build-up. That's good in the management team.
Yep.
Very good indeed. Okay, so the series they're going to play against whom?
They're playing Korea.
Right.
But that'll be a pretty tough series. I think with the Tall Blacks, the main thing is they just need to play basketball together.
Yeah.
Because they don't get a huge chance to play Even sometimes during the year we might only play Aussie 3 times.
Right.
And that's not enough
Yeah.
to get going.
Yeah. And you would think that would be the natural place you'd hunt, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Get a Trans-Tasman, get
Yep.
a Bledisloe Cup, get
Yep.
a something going.
Yep. No, that's right.
Are we the minnows to Australia, though? Do
Yes.
they treat us that way?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Australia's
Happens a lot in sport, I've got to tell you, for
Yeah.
those kangaroos. Yeah.
So Australia's got a young kid just coming through now called Dante Exum, and he's going to be a top 5 draft pick in the NBA draft this year.
Right.
They've got Joe Ingles, who just won a European Cup, Patrick Mills, who's in the NBA finals, Aaron Baines, Andrew Bogut. So
They've done well, haven't they?
They've-
Just before we go to the break, will that affect the breakers at all? I mean, will they be robbed of players?
No, the
There's a window.
Australian League will start a little bit later,
Right.
just because of the World Champs. So
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, when we come back, we're going to follow the progress. He hasn't won a green jacket yet at golf, but Gordon Fiddler, he's getting a bit better, I've got to say. We're going to find out how he got on at Ferrymead with having another lesson. A lot of people would call golf a good walk spoilt, but our sporty guy, Gordy's determined to conquer it. So let's go out to Ferrymead, see what he's picked up this week.
All right, this week I've got the sand wedge. I've got Jordan here, who's going to tell me how I can improve my pitching game.
Yeah.
What can I do, Jordan?
Well, we've got to do better than that last one, don't we?
Yeah, I think
So
we do. It wasn't too flash.
the key with pitching is you've got to develop yourself a swing that's slightly different to a full swing to give you a bit more consistency,
Okay.
right? So what we're looking at doing is setting the ball up with a little bit further back in your stance. Your hands are forward like this.
Yep.
And we're going to take half a swing back to here. We're going to keep the left arm straight, and then
Okay.
we're going to follow through.
Well, we'll put a ball here,
Yep.
and if you move around to where I am, and I'll sort of try and get a gauge off you.
Absolutely. So looking the ball just behind the centre so our hands can lean slightly forward like this.
Yep.
And we're going to take a swing where we take it back to about sort of 9 o'clock position. Left arm's nice and straight, and we're going to go through. Hitting under the ball. Nice,
Okay.
good, clean contact.
So obviously that last one was pretty low.
Yeah.
So I want to get a bit more flight,
Yep.
get a bit more under the ball.
With taking half a swing, you're always going to control the club better.
Okay. So rather than back here,
Yep.
I want to be...
Back here with this arm straight.
Yep.
Nice and in position there. And then you're in control of the club, so you
Okay.
can determine the future of this ball.
All right, we'll give it
Good
a go.
stuff. Give it a go. Much better.
Better than the last one.
Absolutely.
So the key is really getting back here,
Yep.
and then you got, obviously, when you're not going with a full swing, I presume you've got more control
You certainly
of
do.
what you
yeah.
want to do with the
We
ball.
just want to change that setup just to remember to keep those hands forward of the club.
Okay,
here.
so they need to be a bit lower
ball's
down.
going to be back here.
Yep.
Club's going to be there, and the hands are going to be forward.
Okay.
That enables you to get to that back swing position a lot
Okay,
easier.
so I want my weight a bit further
Yeah.
forward as well.
Yeah. That's it, to there and through. Look at that. Beautiful.
Much better. Definitely a lot more height on that one.
Yeah. Better contact, better sound. It works in all lies, whether you've got a heavy lie, a bony lie, or just a good lie.
Right, well that's how you can improve your pitching game. Thank you very much for that, Jordan. And if you want some more tips, you can come out here to Ferrymead Golf and help improve your game. All right, Andy, coming into winter, getting a bit cooler, what sort of stock have you got in the store for us at the moment?
That's right, Gordon. We've got a new range of ladies' wet weather gear from Callaway here. So it'll keep out a shower. It's mainly for the wind, so
Yep.
it keeps you nice and warm in those as the weather is beginning to change, what we're having at the moment. We also got a slightly thicker garment from Sporty Leisure for the ladies. So it was a little bit more waterproof. And again, for those really cold days, getting down under 10 degrees now. So
Yeah,
gonna need
especially
some
this
of that.
Christchurch weather, you want to stay warm, don't
That's
you?
right, you do, unfortunately. And we've also got the new warranty jacket, so you get a 3-year waterproof warranty with this one.
Yep.
Goes for $209 for the jacket. Okay, and it's brand new in, and we'll have other new styles coming in as the winter gets closer.
All right, perfect. Plenty of stuff to keep you warm out there on the golf course, out at Ferrymead Golf.
Tell you what, he talks a big game, doesn't he, Ben, Gordy? But you know him in a different life, don't you? As a cricketer, was he any good at that?
I think he's a better cricketer than he was a golfer by the looks of it.
He's listening to this too. You used to be good mates, didn't you? You're not now, do you?
That's ended.
So you're still playing basketball yourself?
Not at the moment. I work on Saturdays, most Saturdays, so don't get the chance to play. But when I do get the chance, I go have a bit of a run around.
To those that are not involved in the game, Canterbury level,
Yep.
we talk about the resilience, don't we, of Canterbury sports people, particularly kids who still have a thirst for sport. The numbers playing ball are incredible, aren't they?
Well, I know Middleton Grange has 16 school basketball teams this year.
Really?
So I think
Boys and girls?
Boys and girls.
Yeah, yeah.
So basketball is the most played sport, high school in Christchurch now. High school sport played.
Isn't that amazing?
And the one thing Canterbury basketball was struggling for was gym availability.
Right.
Because after the earthquake with QE2 shutting down, and Cal's only reopening last year, it has been a bit of a challenge.
Well, you're a tragic
Yep.
basketball. What causes that bubble of interest? Why has it taken off?
I just think with the popularity, it all started in 2002 when we came fourth at the World Champs,
Yes.
and that sort of got the ball rolling. And now with Steve,
That was an amazing performance,
yeah.
wasn't it?
Oh, I mean, that was incredible.
Yeah. And that was Tab.
Yep,
Yeah,
Tab
Baldwin.
orchestrated that. And now with Stephen Adams doing what he's doing, and it's on the news all the time.
Yes.
You see it it's in the papers, it's on the news.
Can we liken it, say, and Gordy will love this, with golf, can we liken it to the Lydia Ko phenomenon?
Yeah.
That women now,
Yep.
and guys, but particularly women, are seeing women's golf on television
That's
featuring
right.
a New Zealander.
Well, I mean, this morning I turned on the TV and there was women's golf on the TV, which last
Unheard
year,
of.
Yeah, last year you wouldn't have seen women's golf on TV.
And she's performing and
Yeah.
competing at the highest level, isn't she?
I
Which
wish I could play golf that well.
yeah, but the same thing with Stephen Adams. I mean,
Yep.
he's not a make-up guy.
No.
He's part of that squad and
That's
part of
right.
that very key part of the team.
Yep, and I think where he got drafted to Oklahoma, who's one of the better teams in the league, perfect fit. He's not expected to do too much. He rebounds the ball, he sets screens, and he plays hard, and that's his job.
How long is he contracted to his current squad?
If he takes up all his player options and his team options, he'll be there for the next 4 years.
Really?
And the salary sort of increases every year. And after that 4 years, he's a free agent.
So he can't be bought in between time?
No.
Right,
No,
so he's locked and loaded.
He's locked in
Yeah,
with Oklahoma.
okay. But he'll have a growth spurt
Yep.
in his salary.
So I think in the fourth year of his salary, it might be up sort of near around $4 million.
Phenomenal money,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah.
And very well looked after.
Oh yeah, when they go on the road, they stay in 5-star hotels.
Yeah. But well managed as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So he's learning his craft and getting paid big money to
That's
do it,
right.
which is great.
Yeah.
You can't argue with that.
No.
That's tremendous.
Yeah.
So we look at the likes of him. The fourth in the world was phenomenal. We've got
Yep.
to say that. Was that a freak, or have we really built on that? Do you think nationally?
Probably not as much as we should have. I think we're going to have a strong squad for this year's World Champs, and we might sort of make top 12, but I
Right.
doubt we'd get fourth again.
Right.
But with the we've got some really good big men coming through, playing college basketball in America,
Right.
and with the success for the Breakers over the last 3 years as well.
You deal with kids, obviously, at basketball level. Are they talking the big game? They're talking the stars. They know it. A lot of people now have a team, don't they? Which was, we always did when we grew up with English soccer. We always had a team. Rugby league, we always had an Aussie team. Now it's a basketball team.
Yeah, we see all the kids now wearing the hats with the basketball teams on the front.
Now, I've got a real bugbear, and I've brought this up so often. You've been to the States, I've been to the States, we know how it works over there. Every park, there's a hoop.
Yep.
Why on earth can't we do that here, particularly when we're starved of facilities? Not hard to whack one on a piece of asphalt in the playground.
All it is just, like you said, a bit of asphalt that needs to be 10 foot high and a circular rim. All you need is a circle
And
ball.
they will go there every day and
That's
shoot
right.
baskets.
Yep.
Ben, I love your enthusiasm
thanks
for the
for having
game.
me on.
Just before we close, just a reminder to you that the Crusader game is down in what I call the hydroponic stadium. I'll get killed for that. That's down in Dunedin. It's a 5:30 kickoff Saturday night. But plenty of time before that to get out, if the weather's kind particularly. The Press Cup featured game this week is Burnside High School playing Rangiora High School. And Rangiora High School are punching a little bit above their weight. I haven't seen either team play, really looking forward to it. So join us for that next week here, next weekend on Sunday. We'll bring you that game to you. So until then, keep warm, keep dry, and see if you can get a Rams ticket. I'll let you know next Monday if I was lucky. Back next week. Thanks, Ben.